What's poppin', everybody? It's your boy SnowyKurama, and we are here for a Pokemon Showdown video, obviously. But it's not just any Pokemon Showdown video. We are here for my pre-draft analysis, thoughts, what have you, of the Pokemon Draft League Season 5, the last PDL league before Sword and Shield come out, and the last one of 2019, actually, because we'll be wrapping this up in the start of 2020, actually, which is crazy to me. But here we are. We got all 13 of our Sawks all lined up. OU, RU, UU, NU, and RZ Crystal. The rules will be in the description, as well as there's something else. I think just the rules. Oh yeah, and I guess the teams as well. I'm not going to explain all that in the video. That'd take too long. Anyway, here we are for kind of what I want in the league. I decided to switch up my my drafting style from super bulky and powerful to fast and somewhat powerful. Because as you can see from my record, I've always placed in the playoffs, or at least I've been in the playoffs, which is pretty cool. It's pretty nice and all. But when your record goes from second to third to, playoff contender, that's a bit of an issue. So hopefully we can either raise ourselves upwards from there or just have a good time. I'm down for either one. So let's just get into the goddamn video. First up on the team, I wanted something that is super speedy and an electric type, of course. A fairy type is a must in the league. So I decided to go ahead and just hope for Tapu Koko. Tapu Koko's speed is pretty freaking amazing. Before I get into that, it's a former member of the Great Bats of Woodo, led by Steven. And we have a great speed tier, 130. It maxes out at 394. And we can run Volt Switch on it. We've got Calm Mind, I guess, Agility if you need it. It's a great physical attacker as well. It also has access to U-turns, so whichever one we want to use at the time, we can go ahead and put on this thing. It has access to screens as well as defog, which is really, really good. Grass Knot, of course, for your heavier rock and ground types. You got Iron Head if you want. Roost, Substitute. You got Taunt as well, which I love my Taunt. We all know that. And it can run Toxic if we want to run a more defensive set, because its defenses are subpar, but I mean, at least it'll be a surprise for everybody. Next up on the list is something that's never seen the PDL, or at least as far as the records that I have show. I really want a spinner. I was always put in positions where I wanted my hazards, but I needed to get the hazards on me away much quicker. Faster, it's more prevalent, I should say. And this Pokemon just does that job pretty goddamn well. His name, her name, whatever you want, is Excadrill. Now, again, like I said, this is a new Pokemon to the Pokemon Draft League, if I remember correctly. I might be wrong, which I'd be surprised if I was right. But this thing is pretty awesome. It's got a nice HP stat. Its 88 speed kind of sucks, but with a Choice Scarf we can outrun some things. And if someone has sand, like if a Tyranitar or a Powdon were on the field and sets up Sandstorm, we got Excadrill to come in with Sand Rush. This thing was on my monotype ground team for the Island Rumble, which is something I didn't really record. It's kind of like the Smogon Premier League, except for we didn't do doubles or anything. We just used all the regular tiers, plus PU, plus monotype, plus LC, and plus Ubers, depending on how you feel about that. And it worked pretty goddamn well. We had Hippowdon set up the sand, Excadrill used the sand, and Excadrill was really the only thing that used the sand, which is really, really good for weather, but I am getting off on a tangent. This thing gets Rapid Spin, of course. We also have access to Earthquake, Iron Head, Dual Stab, you know, Poison Jab for those fairies, Rock Slide, we got Scizor, I guess. Swords Dance if we want to go that route, Sub, we got Toxic, and then all these little tech things down here like Giga Drain. Nope, Giga Impact. I was almost there. And Magnet Rise if we want to get rid of our ground weakness. So yeah, I think this thing's going to put in a lot of work. We have Mold Breaker as well, just in case we have a Xatu, Espeon, or Mega Sableye on the other side of the field that want to bounce away our rocks. It won't work. So yeah, I'm excited to give this thing a try. Plus we have a Steel immunity for our Tapu Koko, which is really, really nice. It's the it's 2 of our Fairy Dragon Steel Core. Speaking of Fairy Dragon Steel Core, the next member of the team, I was thinking of Victini, because you can run Banded, you can run Scarf, you can probably run Specs if you want to. There's Life Orb. A Z is great since it has the big attacks from Zekrom, Reshiram, and Kyurem if you consider it Glaciate. You know, the OG Kyurem. But I was thinking more along the lines of Mega Latios. Now, Mega Latios, back when it was in UU for the week or two that it was there, you could run max HP, max speed, and a wee bit of special attack, and pretty much 2-hit KO the entire tier. It is nuts. We have access to Defog here too. We have Recover and Roost. We can drop Dracos. We got Calm Mind if we want it. Earthquake if we want to run physical. We got Surf, of course, because we're a Latios. Excuse me, Ice Beam. We got Bolt Beam coverage. I think we have Thunder as well. Can't really trick because we have to have the Latios Sight. Toxic and Thunder Wave if we want to go that route. Tailwind as well. I didn't even notice that. But then we have a lot of different, you know, tech down here if we so want to use it. Now, what's really cool about this is a Latias. What the hell? Get out of here. I want your big brother. I think we get the same moves more or less. Fairly sure. Yeah, it kind of looks like it. Anyway, a really good thing about Latios is we have Levitate no matter what, which means we cannot be hit by ground moves, which is really good for our Tapu Koko and our Excadrill. This is another Pokemon that has not seen play in PDL at all. So I'm very excited for its debut to be on my team, because I don't think anyone's really going to take it considering it hasn't been taken at all before. But you never know with this group. We have 2 new coaches, so we don't really know what they would like to pick. Plus, anybody else could, you know, surprise me. But as of right now, this is my OU lineup that I would like to have around and keep. There's a reason that the Megalatis are banned in WBE format, and I want to find out why for my damn self. We decided to mix up the RU, or you know, the UCL. Yeah, we use UCL tiers, but we decided to mix up the UU and the RU to make it a little bit more interesting in my opinion, so we are starting here with RU. Now, there are a couple of different Pokemon that I really want in this tier. They all just so happen to be from former coaches, so if we're going to get it, it'd be fantastic. My first RU pick is going to be Araquanid. I would like Araquanid. Araquanid is a former member of the Chicago Mega Gengar, led by Adam, the co-host of this league, and I really like Araquanid for its abilities to set up sticky webs and its amazing special defense stat. Water Bubble lets it not be burned, and Fire type damage is halved, so you ain't doing damage to me at all. And also, Water Power is ×2, so our Liquidation, or even our Scald, if we want to go that route, is going to be, see here, 85 ×2, or 80 ×2, which is close to 200. That's a lot. We also have access to Giga Drain, Crunch, we have Leech Life if we want to use that. Magic Coat is here to bounce back some Stealth Rocks or other hazards. And that's really what this thing's going to be doing. We have Toxic as well. Its weaknesses are only flying, rock, and electric, I believe, if I'm correct. We could look that up. I got Smogon.com up on my phone. Araquanid. Here we are. I don't know if Smogon actually displays weaknesses. I don't think it does. That's rough. Anyway, I'm pretty sure that I am correct about what its weaknesses are. And it's a nice little defensive mon for our team. We can make it max defense if we wanted to. It's let's make it an impish nature real quick. We are only a little bit above our special defense, so we could put like 4 here and there, and we are a bulky little bug. That's amazing. Put this other one in attack there if we want. We could also run bold for the Scald. But I think Araquanid would be a great member of our team. It's very threatening, and I'm all for threats. The next member on the team is going to be something from the Chicago White Sox Season 4. I swapped out Shaman for this guy. It is Rotom Mo. Now, I was considering grabbing Vileplume again from our Season 3 draft, but I think that the access to Volt Switch with Rotom is really, really nice. Plus, it also can't be hit by ground-type moves, so this electric weakness is nullified, even though the grass-type would also help it. But we've got Volt Switch, we've got Thunder, everything. We've got access to Leaf Storm as well, of course. We have Defog, Pain Split. We also have this move called a Will-O-Wisp. That's Wide Guard. Rotom doesn't get Wide Guard. Will-O-Wisp. And this is the big deciding factor that I picked it above Vileplume, is that Vileplume is a great strength sapper. Its defensive stats allow it to take a lot of different hits from a lot of different Pokemon. A non-invested Hidden Power Fire Okoza Kartana, which is really good information. But the difference between Strength Sap and Will-O-Wisp is that if you burn your opponent, that attack drop is forever, whereas Strength Sap will happen, every time we use it. So this is a permanent attack drop rather than just the non-permanent. Plus, we could run Scarfed Trick Rotom if we want. Its stats are pretty nice in the defensive and the special defensive. Its HP is ass, but that's okay. We got the speed of freaking Butterscotch, but Rotom is still pretty nice. We have Iapapa Berry options. We don't have as much resistances and good usage as Rotom Wash, but this Rotom form still puts in lots of work. The last member of my RU squad, I was really thinking about Salazzle because it has the ability to just toxic any steel type with its ability Corrosion, plus its speed stat. It's 117 speed, so it outspeeds my Latios, so it outspeeds any other base 115s that anyone would want to put on their team to take care of, 115 mons. Or, 115s to take care of base 100s or less. But I ultimately decided that we should have something that is a little bit more bulky, even though I kept talking about having speed. But it's Drapion. Drapion is a former member of the Crobatters led by Seth, who is not in this league this time around. And let's see here. We got Battle Armor as our ability. We have Sniper as well, so we can fish for crits. Keen Eye will probably not be used. But this thing has actually been around quite a bit as far as PDL goes. It kept going around, switching teams. I think this will be the 4th team that it's part of, supposing we get Drapion. But we have access to Knockoff. We've also got Fell Stinger Tech, which is nice. We have all of the elemental crunches, if you call it that. We also have access to Toxic Spikes, and not regular Spikes, no, just Toxic Spikes. But Toxic Spikes is a big reason why I want this Drapion. Plus, its defensive stats are pretty nice, and speed stat pairs really well with Araquanid's Sticky Web, so that it can knock out, it can outpace Pokemon that it usually would not. I think pretty much anything under 130 grounded, which is pretty much every Pokemon that exists besides power crept bullshit mons, which there are a couple of them. But we have, yeah, Drapion. Drapion's cool. Hoping we get all 3 of these. They would be great support members for our first 3 as well. If we don't, I have backups. Don't worry about it. I'll probably get into that in the post-draft video. And we're moving on to UU. Before I get into UU, and this might be a hint about what I want. We decided to allow some Ubers and some broken-ass mons back into our tier lists. We have Zygarde, 50%, can only use Aura Break, an OU member. Landorus Incarnate, Sandforce, only OU. Blaziken, or Blaziken can only be UU. We got Torrent Greninja in UU as well, and Porygon Z has been from UU BL down to UU, considering we cannot use Omni Boosted Z moves. Moving on to the team, our first UU mon that I would really like is a throwback to the last season, I believe. It is Scizor, a proud staple member of the Chicago White Sox Season 4. Scizor has a great defensive stat as well. Great defensive stats, base 80 is okay. Base 70 HP is pretty decent, I think. But this attack stat is crazy. And I've seen hidden power sets for, opposing Mega Scizor. And I'm sure it could work against Kartana as well. Pretty much anything that doesn't want, a fire move. But this thing has access to Bullet Punch. It also has Quick Attack for priority. And we also really like Roost and Defog, so that it can gain some HP back and get rid of our hazards. It also has access to moves like Knock Off, Iron Head if we want to, Morning Sun if we want to. No, we're gonna use Roost. What am I saying? We got Rest to get rid of the statuses like Burn. We got Tailwind in case we want to up our speed. We got U-Turn as well, and Toxic if we want to do that. This thing can be banded, this thing can be defensive, this thing can do pretty much anything that you want it to except for resist a fire move. So yeah, our ability is most likely going to be Technician. We also have Swarm so that we can up our Bug Bite if we want to. Light Metal will probably not be used, but Scizor is kind of like a good luck type Pokemon for me. As long as I can see Scizor on my deck, I know that I'll be okay, or at least I won't freak out as much because I got my buddy Scizor here. And that is our first UU pick. I wanted to go ahead with our next one. I wanted to just bring in a mon that is going to be super fast, that can really do the damage we need it to, and chip away at my opponent's team with hazards and priority and whatnot. So I decided to go ahead and pick up Infernape. Infernape, if I remember correctly, is a member of the Season 3 Sex Eevee, led by my buddy Jacob, who is not in the league right now. But this thing, Infernape, we have Blaze to heighten up our fire attacks, which would be great for a Focus Sash Overheat set. We also have Iron Fist, so we can power up our punching moves, which is everything that says punch, except for Sucker Punch. Which is whatever. This thing has access to Stealth Rock. We also have Gunk Shot for fairies if we would like. Mach Punch and Vacuum Wave for priority depending on which one of our offensive stats we want to invest into. We got 104, 104, so that's really good. 108 speed, outspeeds all our base 100 mons, which is a nice plus. We also have access to Close Combat and Earthquake, 2 moves that really do damage. You have Bulk Up if you want to. Fake Out is another good option for priority if we would like. Flare Blitz, of course, does the damage. And Nasty Plot if we want to do that. We also have the Swords Dance, Thunder Punch. We have U-Turn as well, and Will-O-Wisp if for whatever reason we wanted to run a defensive Infernape. Blast Burn's nice, I guess, if we have the Firium Z. And yeah, this thing is going to be really nice on my team. It can chip away members that might give Coco and Latios problems, which is really, really good for us. And we also needed a physical fire type. I would rather have physical fire type because we can't be burned. So strength sap and other attack lowering moves are the only thing that's really gonna be a problem for Infernape, and anything that learns bubble. Excuse me. But I think it's gonna be a good member of our team. And last but not least, I didn't really know what else to pick for our UU Pokemon. So I went ahead and remembered that we have Pokemon from the higher tiers on down. So I decided, why not Torrent Greninja? Now Greninja is a member of the Season 2 Chicago White Sox after the Lavender Town Lele's went and dropped it for something else. We dropped our Mega Pinsir for it. But it's also a former member of, the last team it was on was the Dallas Aerodactyl, led by Gage's friend Drew, who is not in this season. But even though Greninja does not have access to Protean or Battle Bond, it can still be a menace to the the draft meta, I guess. It's got speed stat of 122, it outspeeds lots of things, barring Tapu Koko and other base 130s like that. We got a special attack of 103, which is it's okay, and attack of 97, which is 95, sorry, which is okay. It's not going to be taking moves, but it's not going to be taking hits, but we're not going to want it to do that. It has the same exact thing, or same exact deal that Infernape has. It's got U-turn, also has water shuriken, so we can get off a move, as well as gunk shot. You already know what, if you're anyone who knows anything about OU, you know what Greninja can do, except for weaker, because Torrent. They can still rock a choice specs, considering that, you know, regular Greninja Battle Bond runs choice specs. It doesn't change its moves at all. Plus, we could run a physical set. We got Rock Slide. We also have Gunk Shot, you know, Quick Attack if we want to do that. And yeah, I think Greninja will be a very, very big member of our team. These three mons are not anything that nobody's ever seen before. I'm really hoping that we get Greninja. Oh, we also have access to spikes, which is something that I don't have, as well as toxic spikes, which is really nice. Rock Tomb, I guess you saw that. If you didn't, you can go back and pause it. But Rock Tomb, we could lower speed stats, which is cool, I guess. So I'm really hoping for Greninja. If we don't get it, oh well. There's other water types that I can pick from. I don't necessarily need Greninja, but Greninja would be a big help to start chipping down these team members that we fight. Last but not least is our NU draft. We have 2 returning mons, not necessarily from my team, but then 1 new one, so here we are with that. The first NU mon, this might, in Season 4, I drafted Archeops, or I picked up Archeops and dropped something else from NU. And that worked out pretty well for me because we have, again in this season we have PU mons allowed in. I didn't look at any of those before doing this, so we might draft one, who knows, later on once my shit gets sniped. But I'm really thinking about Aerodactyl because it's a more consistent version of Archeops. Might not be as strong, but it's still nice. We have it. Oh yeah, before I go into that, it is a former member of the Meloetta Marcottes, coached by my youngest brother Martin, who's only been in Season 1. So Aerodactyl has been just chilling in the pool since Season 1. It's all wrinkly, it's all gross, it's ready to get out and dry off and then getting right into the battles. So this thing has access to Stealth Rock, Taunt, which this mon was also on a mono flying team that I really like to use. Is a Taunt Stealth Rocker, if you didn't know. We have access to Earthquake, of course. We have Stone Edge as well. It has Fire Fang, and I think... Oh, it has all the elemental fangs, actually. I don't know why I thought it didn't have Fire Fang. It's right the fuck there. But we have access to all the elemental fangs, as well as Roost, if we want to do that. Whirlwind, so we can get some setup mons up and out of there. It's also got some nice dark coverage with Brutal Swing. What does that move even do again? Oh, it's a base 60 move. Sweet. We also have Fly if we have the Flying Z. Iron Tail for coverage as well. Bunch of shit. Rain Dance if we want to power up Araquanid and Greninja, but I doubt we will. Smackdown to get the Flying Mons ready to be Earthquaked. And I believe that Aerodactyl will be a good member for our team. It's also base 130 speed, just like Tapu Koko, which means it's going to hit almost 400 speed just on its own. So we could run a more bulky HP Choice Scarfed set of Aerodactyl if we so choose, with like Adamant or Jolly, whatever calls for it. Speed creeping is just so much fun. We have access to Rockhead for an ability, Pressure as well, and Unnerve just in case we have a Rotom with an Ayapapa that we don't want using it, which is every Rotom besides our own. So yeah, Aerodactyl. More or less a first comer to PDL, but not really. Our next team member is something that was used, I think, twice before. I think the Munchlaxtives, coached by Matt, used it, as well as last season we had the Chicago Mega Gengar, coached by Adam, use this mon as well. But we have Palossand. Now, I wanted to draft Seismitoad instead of Palossand, but seeing that we had Greninja and Araquanid already, even though they don't really share too many common weaknesses, since Seismitoad's only weak to grass, and Greninja is weak to grass, but Araquanid is not, I noticed I didn't have a Ghost type, which, if I thought to have a spin, your Rapid Spin user, I'm sure other people will, because no shit. So, you know, Ghost type Pokemon can block Rapid Spin. So this thing is what this thing's gonna be doing. It's got access to Stealth Rock as well as nope, not Will-O-Wisp, but it's got Toxic, of course. We got Shore Up, which is like a Sandstormy synthesis with twice the HP. So it's the best healing move like that in the game. It's got Destiny Bond as well, just in case we are running low on HP. Pain Split to go ahead and lower the HP stats of other mons. We got Rock Polish as well, just in case we want to run a speedier set, but I doubt we will. Sludge Bomb for coverage. We've got Trick as well if we want to trick something, but I don't know what the hell we'd trick. Maybe like a Black Sludge if we want to. Hypnosis just in case we want to put things to sleep. This Pokemon used to be dog shit in regular Sun and Moon, even though I always love Palossand. Like, look at this thing. Look at this shiny. It's a black sandcastle. What's not to like? This thing has great defensive stats, you know, barring special defense, which is okay. Well, you can just invest in that and be fine. And there's something else I wanted to say about it. And then with the Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon tutors and buffs and everything, this thing got better. It's now seen in NU, I believe is the tier it was in. It wasn't in any tier before that. So yeah, I'm excited to put this Palossand to use on my team. And last but very not least, a newcomer to PDL as well, as far as I can tell, is Comfey. Now, I couldn't figure out what the hell I wanted on the team until I remembered that I really wanted to try Comfey because of Joey Pokeaim's just Comfey sweep in the beginning parts of the WBE. So I was like, okay, Comfey, that's something to draft. We have Cleric-y abilities with Comfey. We also have, which is powered up by Triage, which healing moves have their priority increased by 3, which, you know, goes above pretty much everything unless your name's Fake Out. We have Giga Drain that's powered up by that. We have Draining Kiss as well. We have access to Heal Bell and Aromatherapy. It's also a nice defogger in case we want to do that. We also have access to, hidden powers, Calm Mind Sweeper if we want. Leech Seed is here because, this is a great mon to be a Cleric, because our grass type here doesn't really have access to any grass moves besides, Leaf Storm, I believe it is. Yeah, it's Leaf Storm. So Comfey is good mon to go ahead and give our team a little bit of cleric-y help. We also have a Wish, I believe. Where is it? Do we have it? We don't have Wish? Well, never mind. We can't really restore. Wait, do we have... We don't have Healing Wish either. Ooh. Latios, I believe, gets access to Healing Wish. Nope, that's Latios. Okay, so our Cleric isn't as great as I was thinking it was going to be. But we have little healings with, you know, Leech Seed, as well as Draining Kiss. And we also have, you know, Heal Bell and all that. So it's not a bad Clericimon, it's just not the best. But it's something that we needed, I believe. In the Fairy typing, we're covered up from Poison by Scizor as well as Excadrill. And then with the Steel type, we have Infernape to take care of that, as well as Palossand and Excadrill, of course. So, you know, here's Comfey, this little lay Pokemon. One of the only 2 Gen 7s that we have on the team. I'm pretty excited to use it. Wait, we have 3. Doesn't quell the excitement. Last but not least, which is something I almost forgot about, of course, is our Z moves. Now, I didn't explain it before, but OU to RU, that is one draft order. Then we re-randomize our draft for UU down to NU, and then our last one is our Z. Now, I was thinking about it, looking at our team. It looks like we have Coco, who can use. We have possible Electrium Z. And I was also thinking about Rockium Z, because Rock is not very resisted by very many Pokemon unless you're Steel type, or a Rock type yourself, or Ground, and I think that's really it. And then Electric type, you know, you gotta watch out for your Ground type switching in. But I honestly think, at the end of the day, I would like the Electrium Z. I say this because Coco can get off like Z Thunderbolts. We got Rotom that can get off Z Thunderbolt as well. Z Thunder Punch over here. We have Elemental Fangs for the Z. And if we really want to, we have Excadrill who can use Z Magnet Rise. But I was also thinking about it, Rockium for Sandstorm, because we have a lot of Sandstorm users. And we have an Excadrill. So, you know, put 2 and 2 together, that's crazy. Aerodactyl special defense goes up, yada yada yada. But I'm thinking we might go with the Electrium Z. This Z Crystal might change depending on what we do end up drafting. But I just... You know what? Actually, I think that we actually want the Rockium Z, now that I'm looking at it. Because I could totally see Greninja being our Z-Mon. Aerodactyl could be our Z-Mon in this case. We have Palossand, who has some rock moves, I'm sure. It's got to. It's a ground type. Yeah, we have Z Agent Power if we want to use that. Okay, it's not that great. But anyway, Z Sandstorm ups your speed, if I remember correctly. So, what do we got? You can't use Z, you silly. Do you have a rock move? Hidden Power Rock. Drapion, I think, has Stone Edge at least. Okay, what other rock moves do you have? You have Rock Slide, which is fine. Greninja gets Rock Slide, I believe. Yeah, we can Z Sandstorm. If we want. We could also regular Sandstorm. I don't think you get... Yep, you don't. Okay, so I changed my mind. We are not running Electrium Z anymore. We're going to run Rockium Z. So, yeah. Lots of mons that can use Rock. Rock isn't resisted by a lot. It's not like Electrium where we can, you know, get switched in by a ground type and get fucked up. But another Z crystal I was thinking about was the Normalium Z. Now, I don't think I have any Z Splash users on the team, but I do have Swords Dance, which is nice. And I also have the Giga Impact, so that's like a base 200 something normal type Z move that can only be really blocked by ghosts. It's going to do damage no matter who you are. So those are other things to consider. I might switch out Rotom again for something that can do, you know, grass type things better. Araquanid, as long as it's something I can use Sticky Web, I don't really care what it is, so Araquanid might not stay on the team. But at the end of the day, this is your Chicago White Sox for the season 5. So yeah, if you had any team changes you want to let me know of, just go ahead and comment that down below. Like this video if you are excited for the Chicago White Sox to try their darndest to climb back up our ladder here. And subscribe if you want to keep checking that out, as well as other videos that I'm doing. And tickle that bell so you know when I am uploading, blah 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 blah. All that being said, more, less, and in between, this has been your boy, SnowyKurama. See you in the next video. Goodbye.